Good morning, good morning. How you guys doing? Welcome, welcome. Nice to have you with me again. Nice that you could join me. I saw I got a lot of comments on our last session. Good to see. We did a session on the USDCAD. If you haven't watched it, go back and take a look at the live session that we did previously. We have yet to get a long signal triggered, so I made a post on our Telegram channel, so make sure you join the Telegram channel so you can get updates on what we discuss in the videos. All right, so there's no long signal on USDCAD just yet. When there is, I'll post it on the Telegram channel and we'll do a video about it in the future. But for now, we're going to take a look at NVIDIA. Big earnings call yesterday. And prior to earnings, we were looking at NVIDIA and we were talking about what was in play, what was likely going to take place, okay? And the reason why I was doing this was because, it's to dispel this myth that things move based on the reactions of live data, okay? That, everybody was waiting for earnings, and depending on what the earnings were going to be, price was going to move accordingly. This has not been my experience over the many years that I've been trading. This has not been my experience at all. And so we're going to delve a little bit deeper into NVIDIA, and I'm going to show you exactly what was taking place with NVIDIA, why price dropped, and we'll look at what's happening right now and what is likely going to take place. Okay, but the first thing we need to examine, if we're going to understand what's happening with any stock, we should first take a look at the index and see what is taking place with the index. Okay, so here we have the daily chart of the S&P. And if you remember correctly, and if you've been following us on our Telegram and on our X page, you'll know that when price was down here, we were telling our members and our followers that this is an institutional area of buying, okay? It's one of the great things about doing a supply and demand top-down analysis from the higher time frames down to the lower time frames. When you're able to locate the institutional buying that's taking place on the charts, you can determine what's likely going to take place. So if you remember, we had price here, and we had forecasted that price was going to move up to this area of supply and then down. And that's exactly what took place, was that rally up into supply, institutional selling down to institutional buying. And then when these supply and demand zones come into play, what you're trying to figure out is which ones are more powerful. Which ones are more powerful? Because there's going to be selling, there's going to be buying. If buying is more powerful than selling, then we're going to get a stronger move to the upside. If selling is more powerful than buying at the time, then you're going to be getting a move to the downside. When you have two zones that were recently contacted, it's about which one is more powerful, which one's going to take more priority. And so this selling area that we had up here was a temporary selling area, and so it caused price to drop only temporary until the massive buying from the institutions came into play down here at the 52K or 5,200 level. And then we got the push up. We're breaking through that area, and now we've got something really important taking place here. I'm going to draw a circle here, okay? We got this. This is institutional buying, as you can see. I've labeled it such. This is the last area where big institutional money was coming into it to buy this index. So as far as I'm concerned, we have medium-term buying coming in, and we have short-term buying coming in. So you can read all the headlines that you want. They can say whatever they want about a potential drop in the market, about what this analyst or that analyst is saying about the economic factors and the fundamentals and the interest rates. Forget about all of that stuff, okay? What matters is, are big institutional investors buying or they're not? Because if the big institutional investors are buying, price is going to go up. Plain and simple, that's all that you have to know, okay? The best source of analysis are the big institutional investors who are putting their own money and their clients' money into the markets. they've taken into consideration everything, things that we couldn't even possibly consider. So you could do your best by listening to these so-called analysts that you see on TV and on the internet and make decisions based off of that, or you could simply follow where the big money is going to, okay? So before we get to NVIDIA, this was important to lay out because I want you to understand that over the medium term, there's buying of this S&P, and over the short term, there's buying of this S&P, okay? Now let's take us over to NVIDIA. So if you take a look at NVIDIA, you'll see that we had a similar situation where there was a drop in price, okay? Something took place down here, buying, which caused price to rally up. And if you notice, you also see that there's an area of supply here, just like there was on the S&P, okay? And we now have an area of buying here, okay? This area here is between the 114 and the 118s. This is institutional buying. So institutional buying came in through here, medium term, and short-term buying came in through here. Now, when earnings came out, price was up here. And what was this? This was a major selling area up here by the institutions, okay? We located this many months ago. This was an institutional, well, a couple months ago, I should say. This was an institutional selling area. So price rallied up into a selling area. And I made a post on X and I made a post on Telegram saying, this is a selling area, folks. And what usually takes place when price hits a selling area is we see selling pressure taking place, okay? We see a move to the downside. So the S&P already dropped into its short-term demand area, but NVIDIA hadn't. What do you think happened up here? We look at earnings and we see that it was pretty good earnings, okay? The data was pretty good, but what happened after hours? The stock tanked. Why? There could be 1,000 explanations why. I'm telling you the reason why. Because the selling area was contacted, okay? And price dropped in aftermarket hours. Where do you think it dropped to? To this institutional buying area here, okay? This is not a coincidence, okay? This is not a coincidence. It came down to our institutional buying area. What's happening pre-market? It's rallying up. Why? Because it dropped inside the institutional buying area, okay? So pressures to the upside, just like with the S&P. Medium-term buying is happening. Short-term buying is happening. Pressure is to the upside. So we're going to continue to watch this because I think that this could present a really good opportunity to buy. And yeah, so I'll leave you with that for now. I won't go into too much more depth. I'm going to continue recording for members only. And if you'd like a chance to get a view of this members only video, go over to our Twitter page where we made the post regarding this session. Like and retweet that post, and later on today I'll choose one of you to be the lucky winner of the full analysis of this morning session. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some insight, and we will talk to you shortly. Take care of yourself. Have a good one.